You'd think that after a week consisting of multiple overtime games that there wouldn't be any other games better than those. I'll have you know this is far from the case. The other conference favorites have been beating the piss out of themselves and other highly rated teams in their own conference. Just take a look at the carnage in the SEC. It would only be a matter of time though until the juggernauts of the Big Ten would be meeting their maker. Such is the case of this game where the loser will be begged by fans to be fired. We've all been waiting for this one. It had massive hype in the offseason, and through the destruction of many of the top-rated teams for the first 6 weeks, these teams still remain strong and undefeated: Ohio State and Oregon. Under Indiana, these are the two reigning juggernauts in the Big Ten. The stakes couldn't be higher for this one, as the winner likely seals themselves in Indianapolis in December. Ohio State has slept through the entire month of September. When they are playing teams like Applebee's East every week, it's hard to do anything other than crush your opponents. Transfer quarterback Will Howard has been making strides to adjust to the Buckeye offense and has had an easy time doing so. With backs like Squidtard Judkins and Travion Henderson, as well as one of the most stacked receiving corps in the country and a strong defense to cooperate with, it can be argued that Ohio State has the most talented team this season. So much so that Ohio State fans want Ryan Day gone if he doesn't win this game. Talent, as we know, only means so much in tough road environments, such as the one they are being sent off to, Autzen Stadium, where the Oregon Ducks await. The Ducks are in a similar situation in terms of roster. With the loss of Bo Nix, Dan Lanning brought in transfer Dylan Gabriel from Central Florida. Along with him is Jordan James in the backfield, backed up by a receiving crew bit out of transfers in Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. Oregon was able to sleepwalk through September as well, except the opponents they played gave them a lot more hell than initially thought. The barn burners between Idaho and Boise State left a lot of fans believing that expectations needed to be adjusted for the season. Once the Ducks got into conference play though, their potential was fully realized and they intended to show it. Oregon has adjusted to Big Ten play well, but this would by far be their biggest challenge yet. For the fans of either team, this matchup is certainly a scare, especially for Ohio State considering Oregon's record in previous matchups with the Nuts. From fans outside looking in, it was everyone's dream, a top 5 matchup and prime time. Except for some SEC fans as their teams are beating the piss out of each other during this time. Just like these two were about to do on NBC. One of the only times the NBC slate ends up being used to prop up Notre Dame. This was going to be a day where the secondaries were going to be tested. The Nuts wasted no time in going down the field and striking first blood. On their second drive though, Judkins got the ball yanked away by Derek Harmon. This set up the Ducks for their response behind the legs of Jordan James, tying the ball game at 7 apiece.
Oh, and a box snap. Looking to get away. Toss it, picked off.
So I get being aggressive in these games, but did the previous season teach you nothing, Dan? There was little point in doing this on your first scoring drive. Mario Cristobal's in Miami, right? Anyway, the dual running back system finally showed its upsides following a massive Travion Henderson run, which set up Judkins for the next Nut touchdown. After going ghost for the first 5 games, the transfer from A&M, Evan Stewart, finally had his breakout game for the Duckies, making 2 great catches back-to-back for Oregon's second touchdown. The tomfoolery on the extra point attempt would result in some tomfoolery on the 2-point attempt afterwards, using a formation straight out of the circus. But he wasn't done though. Dan intended to pull out every trick imaginable. An onside kick in the second quarter. And they got it. To their credit, they pulled it off quintessentially. You'll need these type of things to win in these types of games. Unfortunately for them, the Bucks would hold them back to the point they had to settle for 3. Their efforts were enough though to give them the lead. In a continuing trend though, the Nuts would quickly get back the lead with an Emeka Egbuka touchdown. By this point, the defensive backfields were on roller skates with no intent of being able to keep up with the receivers. Denzel Burke got completely cooked for a Tez Johnson touchdown. The Ducks retake the lead at the half. Fire up the message boards, it's already time to clear house and fire every coach on Ohio State's staff because they aren't winning this game by 40. The talent would show itself once again though, as the Nuts took back the lead on a Jeremiah Smith touchdown. Just give everyone on the roster a score. With balls of solid Ducks steel, Lanning chose to go for it on 4th down in his own territory, which panned out in his favor as he found Terrence Ferguson for a huge gain. Clapping said balls together, he'd go for it again on 4th and goal. This time though, his balls got kicked hard enough to put a dent in them. Wouldn't matter though, as Will Howard would fumble the snap on 3rd down, giving the ball right back to the offense. Down by 1 now, the Nuts needed a scoring drive to shift momentum back in their favor. Missing Smith on a third down, Ohio State would have to settle for a field goal, shifting the lead once again in their favor. Keep in mind while this game is going on, Ole Miss and LSU are battling in a similar format of score after score. Tennessee and Florida are also playing their game, but for the sake of your sanity, I'll stay quiet about that one. The Ducks would once again go down the field and reach the red zone with 2 minutes left to go in the ball game. It was now make it or break it time because there was no guarantee they'd get another shot. In a rare case, the defense would actually stop Oregon, so they would have to settle for a field goal. Now it was right back to the Nut offense with one timeout to spare. Can their clutch bone activate? With minimal time left, Howard hit Ibuka on the sideline, getting them down to the Duck 30-yard line. All that's left now is to run the ball and kick the game-winning field. Wait, what are you doing?
Howard, Smith, got separation, and flag is down. May have been contact. Nico Reed.
Pass interference. Offense, number 4. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot.
This was the absolute last thing to do when you're in this position. All you had to do was run the ball. In most cases, taking risks like this come back to bite you in the cheek, such as the case of this one. 10 seconds left and 3rd down and 25. Now you're going to need a play.
It's Howard. Rifles. Incomplete. Jabbar Muhammad gets in front of Jeremiah Smith, but a flag is down.
Illegal substitution. Defense has 12 on defense.
Turns out the Ducks had 12 men on the field for Gits and Shiggles. They said this was intentional, but how smart would this be if it blew you the game? Smart enough to earn you the title of Dan Cristobal. Nonetheless, it's the final play of the game. Can Will Howard come in clutch for the Nuts?
3rd and 20. Howard, a lot of time coming off. Howard's going to run for it. Time runs out, and that'll do it.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Oregon.
Well, technically he did come in clutch. He clutched the win for the Duckies. Sliding down with a nanosecond remaining would have been a smart move if the clock stopped briefly, but unless you have Ultra Instinct, you aren't getting the time out here. Shout out to both of these teams for hell of a game though, that more than likely we will witness again this season with how these two teams played. Oregon firstly now moves to 6-0, and as we know, means bowl eligibility.
Alright!
Of course, this is their floor. There's far more to come for the Ducks in the future. As for the Nut team, despite my own disagreement, I'm a man of the people. The Tardarian Republic has made their votes known, and Ohio State will be known as the Week 7 Clown of the Week. I mean, he did pull off a Dak Prescott in crunch time, so take from that what you will. Ryan Day now improves to a stunning 2-6 against top 5 teams. I'm sure that stat won't linger around the program. You know, it's really times like these where I wonder where Lou Holtz is. See y'all next week, and power to Tardaria.